Hi there, EMT Basics. Welcome to Chapter 5, Medical Terminology. My name is Jessica Madrano. I'm the Program Director for the EMS program. We're just going to do a brief introduction to this chapter. The National EMS Education Standard associated with medical terminology is important to go over so that you know that you are getting the competencies that you're supposed to get in this class. Medical terminology uses foundational, anatomical, and medical terms and abbreviations in written and oral communication with colleagues and other healthcare professionals. EMTs need a working knowledge of medical terminology. The things that you need to understand at the end of your medical terminology chapter are key terms, acronyms, symbols, and abbreviations. You will need to determine the meaning of an unknown word by understanding how terms are formed, learning the definitions for parts of a term. Understanding medical jargon leads to effective communication. This is really important in the medical field. An example of when we would need this is when you, the EMT, are dropping a patient off in the emergency department and you have to communicate quickly and effectively with doctors, nurses, technicians, people from other departments about your patient and what's going on with them. Medical terms are made of distinct parts that perform specific functions. Changing or deleting any part can change the meaning of a word, and we'll have examples for you. Components that comprise medical terms include the word root or root word, prefix, suffix, and combining vowels. And we'll go over each of these. How the parts of a term are combined determines its meaning. Accurate spelling is essential. If you're not a great speller, please use spell check. Have your partner look over your chart before you submit it. Really make sure that your spelling is correct. Here's a reason why. In medical terminology, words can sound the same but have different meanings. So phasia, P-H-A-S-I-A, means speaking. Phasia sounds exactly the same. P-H-A-G-I-A means eating or swallowing. Dys, D-Y-S, means difficult or painful. Dysphagia means difficulty speaking. Dysphagia means difficulty eating or swallowing. So you can see if you spell that word incorrectly or you mean to use one word instead of the other, you can communicate something different is wrong with your patient. How the parts of a term are combined determines its meaning. It's also important to have a knowledge of anatomy and a context of how the words are used. Word roots are the main part or stem of a word. It conveys the essential meaning and it usually indicates a body part. You can add or change a prefix or a suffix to change the meaning of the term. So cardiopulmonary breaks down into cardio means heart, pulmon means lungs. During CPR, you introduce air into the lungs and circulate blood by compressing the heart. If you break down CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, that should make sense to you, given the above roots. Prefixes appear at the beginning of a word. They usually describe location or intensity. They are found in general language. Here's some examples. And not all medical terms have prefixes. Prefixes help give the root word or word root its specific meaning. So here's an example. For the word root pnea, P-N-E-A, one can add the prefix a, which means without, brady, which means slow, and tachy, which means fast. So let's go through those. Apnea means no breathing. Bradypnea means slow breathing, and tachypnea means rapid breathing. Those are three very different words. By learning commonly used prefixes, you can figure out the meaning of unfamiliar terms. Suffixes appear at the end of words. They usually indicate a procedure, a condition, a disease, or a part of speech. Suffixes that are commonly used, here's an example, itis. We've all heard something that uses the word itis, appendicitis, conjunctivitis. Itis means inflammation. If you pair that with arthro, joint, the root word, that creates arthritis, which means inflammation of the joints. Combining vowels connects the word root to a suffix or other root word. In most cases, it's an O, like cardiopulmonary, may also be an I or an E. You use a vowel when you're joining a suffix that begins with a consonant or another word root. Example here, gastroenterology. So gastro, stomach, entero, intestines, ology, the study of. So gastroenterology is the study of your stomach and intestines. Combining form, a combining vowel shown with the word root. Some combining forms are listed below. So we've gone over cardio, gastro, hepato, arthro, osteo, and pulmono. A summary of the rules: the prefix is at the beginning of a term. The suffix is at the end of a term. You use a combining vowel when the suffix begins with a consonant or the term has more than one word root. And again, a good example is cardiopulmonary. Plural endings, try to remember these rules. Sometimes you add an S, so lung to lungs makes it plural. Words ending in A, you change to AE. So vertebra, one, to vertebrae, multiple. IS, you can change to ES. So diagnosis is one, diagnoses is plural. EX or IX, you change to ICES. So apex is one, apices is plural. ON or UM, you can change to an A to make it plural. So ganglion is singular, ganglia is plural. And US, you change to I, so bronchus is one and bronchi is plural. Thank you so much for joining me for this intro. You do have more reading to do, but this should help you get started.